Leny Yoro is set to be included in the Manchester United squad for their Premier League fixture at Arsenal on Wednesday. Yoro, 19, has been sidelined for 4 months since he fractured the metatarsal bone in his left foot against Arsenal in a pre-season friendly in July. The £58.91 million summer signing has been involved in team training in recent weeks, but has not participated in every session as his rehabilitation is carefully managed. We have one more training session to see it, United head coach Ruben Amorim said, of possible returning players. Maybe Leny Yoro is going to be in the squad. I feel he is in a good moment now, his fitness is better, so I think he is going to be in the squad. The others we have to see, some players are tired, and we have to assess tomorrow in training. I think he's a special talent. You have to be careful in this first moment, because we didn't have too many trainings together. He is training not alone, but with a small group of players. He is really fast, he is a modern defender, and that is good when you want to press high and you leave a lot of strikers, especially in this league 1-against-1. I think he can manage that. He is very good with the ball, so I'm really excited. I have to be careful. We have to manage the load and the minutes in the beginning, but I am really excited to see Leny Yoro play. Bruno Fernandes had ice applied to his ankle after he came off in the second half of the 4-0 victory over Everton on Sunday, but is fit to play. Now he's fit to play, Amorim assured. I see him already this morning. He's fit to play. He's a guy that doesn't need a lot of rest, you know him, so he is prepared to play. United have not won away at any of the old Big Six clubs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City and Tottenham, since the start of the 2022-23 season. United have lost 7 and drawn 3, conceding 31 goals. They are winless at Arsenal in their last 6 Premier League matches and have not won at the Emirates Stadium since the FA Cup 4th round in January 2019. Amorim's Sporting prevailed at Arsenal in the Europa League round of 16 in March 2023, and he is impressed by the club's evolution under head coach Mikel Arteta. It's the best team that we faced by far so far, Amorim added. But the test is every game. If you see the last game yesterday was really tough. Was 4-0, but you see the game like I see it. So everything now is a test without so many minutes to train. Trying to manage the number of minutes for a lot of players who cannot manage more than one game. Some players have to be out of the pitch 60 minutes, 70 minutes. It's really hard in this moment. Everything is a test. Arsenal, for me, are in a different point of their team. They are in a different moment. Manchester United will have to make do without both Lisandro Martinez and Kobbie Mainoo at Arsenal on Wednesday. Both players collected their 5th yellow card of the Premier League season in Sunday's 4-0 win over Everton at Old Trafford and must now serve a 1-match ban. Mainoo, who was making his first appearance since the 0-0 draw with Aston Villa on October 6th, was cautioned 4 minutes into the second half, before Martinez was booked just 2 minutes later. Premier League rules state that any player that amasses 5 yellow cards within their club's first 19 matches of the season must serve a 1-match suspension. No other United players are in immediate danger of being handed a ban of their own. With Martinez and Mainoo both ruled out of the midweek trip to the capital, Men's Sport has had a look at 3 different ways United could line up without 2 of their most important figures. Given Martinez provides balance to the back 3 by being left-footed, it would make sense to replace him with a left-footer. Luke Shaw is the most obvious candidate to step into the void Martinez will vacate amid his previous experience of playing as a centre-back. Shaw made his 3rd straight substitute appearance against Everton, climbing off the bench in the second half, and has now stored 98 minutes under his belt over the last 3 games. He has looked comfortable and should now be pushing for a start. Manuel Ugarte was a surprise omission from the starting 11 at the weekend, making way for Mainoo, but he will offer United the steel and grit in the middle they are likely to need at the Emirates. He has not started a league game since being reunited with Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford. Harry Maguire was back in the squad and back on the pitch for the first time since October 6th against Everton on Sunday. He stepped off the bench in the second half, replacing Noussair Mazraoui with 56 minutes played. Maguire has demonstrated with England in the past that he is comfortable playing in a back 3, but the prospect of him replacing Martinez would require a defensive reshuffle given Maguire is right-footed and would be better on his favoured side. Mazraoui has played at left-back for United this season, meaning he could be an option to plug the gap on the left side of the defence. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes could drop deeper to play as one of the two central midfielders, just as he did against Bodo Glimt. That could open up a window of opportunity for Mason Mount to return as one of the two number 10s. Having not made the bench for any of Amorim's first 3 games in charge, the chances of Leny Yoro making his competitive debut for United from the start away at Arsenal are unlikely. However, stranger things have happened. It is every United supporter's dream to see Yoro make his competitive bow and start to show why the club was so determined to beat Real Madrid to his signature in the summer. The consensus is that he will eventually become United's first-choice right-sided centre-back. Casemiro, despite starting at the weekend, is a logical option to start against Arsenal because of his defensive nature. It would make sense for him to be partnered by Ugarte, who is also a defensive specialist. They performed well as a midfield partnership under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Joshua Zirkzee has revealed Bruno Fernandes told him to savour the moment after ending his goal drought in Manchester United's 4-0 win over Everton at Old Trafford on Sunday. Making his first start in the Premier League since September, Zirkzee helped himself to a brace, scoring either side of half-time, to score for the first time since United's 1-0 win over Fulham on the opening night of the season in August. Operating as the number 9, Zirkzee put United 2-0 up just before half-time when Fernandes teed him up to convert from inside the 18-yard box. You could sense the outpour of emotion from the Dutchman as he raced away to celebrate just his second goal in United colours. And he admitted post-match that Fernandes told him to savour the moment. "There is no better stadium to score in," Zirkzee told MUTV. "I wanted to enjoy the moment, and Bruno told me to take my moment as well. But I think I moved a little bit too quick back to the players for the restart. It is a nice feeling scoring in front of these fans." Zirkzee was a surprise inclusion in United's attack after Rasmus Højlund scored twice against Bodo Glimt in midweek. Having helped himself to a brace of his own, however, Amorim is getting a tune out of all of his attackers. "I think what Amorim asked for from the strikers is something very different to what me and Rasmus are used to," Zirkzee admitted. "We are just trying to adapt very quick and do what he expects of us." Having won 2 of their first 3 matches under Amorim, Zirkzee admitted the players are enjoying life under the new boss. He added, "Good. We are bonding really good. There are some strong connections. We all just want one thing, and that is to be better every day and be back to top level in the league. There are some good spirits." Few players have benefited more from Manchester United's decision to sack Erik ten Hag than Manuel Ugarte. The defensive midfielder, who joined United from Paris Saint-Germain on the final day of the summer transfer window, struggled for minutes prior to the Dutchman's exit on October 28th, making just 7 appearances, only 4 of which were starts. United spent almost all summer chasing Ugarte in their quest to shore up their midfield, and they reached a breakthrough in negotiations in the closing stages of the transfer window. He signed a 5-year deal after United agreed a £42.3 million fee with the French club. Ugarte was expected to immediately slot into Ten Hag's first-choice midfield and provide the defensive steel that had been lacking. However, Ten Hag was reluctant to pick him, handing him just 1 Premier League start. It was revealed by the Manchester Evening News at the end of October that the Uruguayan was Ten Hag's third-choice midfield signing during the summer. However, Ten Hag's exit marked a watershed moment in Ugarte's United career. He started each of Ruud van Nistelrooy's 4 games in interim charge, developing a strong bond with Casemiro at the base of United's midfield. It was a partnership that developed over Van Nistelrooy's 4 games at the helm, with the summer signing producing arguably his best performance in United colours in the 3-0 win over Leicester City prior to the international break. The 23-year-old won 8 tackles, the most a United player ever has in a Premier League fixture since such data started being recorded, and produced 3 interceptions against the Foxes, highlighting his ball-winning capabilities in the centre of midfield. His ball-winning expertise is the reason United were so keen to bring him to Old Trafford in the summer. Sporting director Dan Ashworth said at the time of Ugarte's arrival, "Signing Manuel was another of our primary targets for this summer. He is among the very best ball-winning midfield players in the world and has an excellent record at both club and international level. His qualities, experience and passion will be a great complement to our strong group of midfielders. Ugarte provided further evidence of his ball-winning capabilities in Thursday night's 3-2 Europa League win over Bodo Glimt, after being recalled to the starting 11th by Ruben Amorim, who named him on the bench away at Ipswich Town. He won 4 tackles and made 2 interceptions against the Norwegian side. He also provided the assist for Rasmus Højlund's winner. Of course, sterner tests lie ahead for both Ugarte and United, but he has demonstrated in recent weeks he can be the midfield anchor this team has been crying out for. He is the perfect shield for the defence, and his profile makes him the perfect foil for Kobbie Mainoo, who is still waiting to earn his first appearance since Amorim took charge. Ugarte, who worked with Amorim at Sporting Lisbon, will have ambitions of becoming a regular in Amorim's side. Many anticipate he and Mainoo will form Amorim's first-choice midfield partnership. Producing 19 tackles in 6 games since Ten Hag's departure, Ugarte is slowly beginning to show why the Dutchman was wrong to overlook him as often as he did. He has averaged 5.18 tackles per 90 in the Premier League so far this season, the most of any United player who has made 3 appearances or more. It was clear from Ashworth's statement that United had identified Ugarte as the missing link in their midfield because of his defensive profile. They wanted to find someone who could wrestle the ball back and be an elite-level destroyer. Ugarte will only get better the more he plays. United might just have found the ball-winning expert they were desperate for. New Leicester City manager Ruud van Nistelrooy will be watching on as interim Ben Dawson takes charge against Brentford in the Premier League after agreeing to join the Foxes. Incoming, Ruud van Nistelrooy will have a watching brief when Leicester City travel to Brentford on Saturday. Former Manchester United striker Van Nistelrooy was confirmed as Steve Cooper's replacement on Friday, but the appointment was not made in time for him to take charge against Thomas Frank's Bees. Ben Dawson will assume interim charge instead. And asked yesterday to describe his approach, the coach said, "We take a bit of everything." I think there were good elements in how Steve was getting the team to play, but there are areas to improve. Van Nistelrooy was unbeaten during 4 games in interim charge of United following the sacking of Erik Ten Hag. But former Leicester and Arsenal striker Alan Smith has already written off the Dutchman before he gets going in the East Midlands. "I don't see Ruud van Nistelrooy and Leicester as a good match," Smith told Megadice.com. "I feel as though his mind would be elsewhere on the bigger jobs available if he were to do well." He used to be a big-time player, and you carry that attitude through as a coach. He got good experience at PSV Eindhoven, winning a few domestic cups. He has been an assistant with the Netherlands national team, and he impressed whilst he was interim manager of Manchester United. I just wouldn't say he was the right man for Leicester at this stage. Meanwhile, Dawson has said some players have been reprimanded after a video leaked of them next to a board reading "Enzo, I miss you" during their Christmas party in Copenhagen last weekend. While the players were allowed to attend the night out in Denmark, appearing to laugh at a sign referencing former manager Maresca on the same weekend Cooper was sacked has been deemed disrespectful. "The time off was scheduled," Dawson said. "The players are entitled to do what they want with that time off. The particular issue has been dealt with internally, and we've all moved on from it. They've had that key message from the club that what's gone on was not acceptable, and we need to move on. All eyes have since been on training well and putting in a performance tomorrow."